Hello fellow collectors and welcome to Long's Toys. Today we're taking a look at this Quintesson Invasion 3-pack for Transformers Cyberverse Battle for Cybertron. A couple things about the name. One, it does say Cybertronian villains over here on the top. I don't know if that's like a subline they're going for. They just thought it sounded cool. There was something on the Seeker 2-pack for Earthrise I just looked at the other day. I think it said like Decepticon villains or something. I don't know. I don't know if it's just like they think it sounds cool and they're just trying to get it on packaging so they can use it later. I don't know. In any case, some of the packaging says Battle for Cybertron. Some says Transformers Bumblebee Cyberverse Adventures. I'm wondering if this was kind of the original name and then they later pivoted to try to just slap Bumblebee on everything to help it sell. That's my guess. But I think the first couple episodes of Season 3 were actually entitled Battle for Cybertron, but it was a big Autobot Decepticon battle. Whereas, obviously, this is from the second arc where the Quintessons show up, take over the planet, and they put all of these Transformers into this like loop program. Essentially, it's like the Matrix for Transformers. They're putting all the Transformers into this loop program to keep them occupied. And I don't know if they're stealing energy from them. I think that's what it was, because I think once or twice when one of them would dry up, they just kind of fall down and be out of the loop. So I guess they were just harvesting energy or trying to take over the planet. I was never really quite sure what their motivations were, but you know the Quintessons, they're always up to no good. In any case, it's a 3-pack. It originally retailed for $29.99, and I think the Quintesson looks neat, but you're getting two figures you probably already have. This is just the same Prowl and Shockwave from the Battle Class Power of the Spark wave, where they came with the little armors. But instead of getting the armors here, you're getting these little, like, I don't know what you call them, head mounts, head pieces, control units. I guess we'll go with control units. That sounds pretty good. This is what they put on their head to enter them into the loop program. So it uses the same ports that it would normally connect the armor to, but instead of getting armor, you're just getting these two, head connection things. So I don't know. It just, to me, it seems a little lame because you're kind of forced to choose. Either you buy these two guys in the normal battle class and get the armor, which in my opinion is much cooler, or if you want this Quintesson, you're forced to rebuy these two figures that you probably already have without their armor. Like, yes, these little headdress things are neat, but not enough to rebuy these toys. Now, to be fair, the only reason I have this is because it was on clearance at Target for $14.98 or something like that. So it was half price. So I thought, okay, fine. For half price, I want the Quintesson. I figure they're about $10 a figure. I'm fine with that. But I don't know. It just, if they would have repainted them or done something to make them a little different, would give me a little bit more incentive. Because, I mean, if they had some really cool repaints or something, I'd be down. I understand it doesn't really make sense in the context of the show because they weren't like mind controlled or anything like that. They weren't like, if they were mind controlled, I could see giving them a different paint deco just to be like, to show they're under the control of the Quintessons. But it wasn't really like that. They were just put into the program and I think it just leached energy from them the whole time or something like that. So I don't know. But in any case, open packaging so you can actually touch all three of the figures. Kind of the standard Decepticon mural on that side. But then you do have a picture of the Quintesson and then the two guys with the headdresses on. But this almost makes it look like they're fighting while being mind controlled, but that wasn't the case. So I wonder if there's kind of like a disconnect between the people who make the packaging and the people who write the show. Because it does almost seem like, okay, I'm going to put this on and now he works for the Quintessons. But that wasn't really what happened. So, but that does seem like what they're trying to get across with this packaging. So I don't know. I guess I'm as confused as anybody. I'm going to go ahead and get these guys out of the box and we'll take a closer look. So here are the three figures out of the box. I'm just going to go ahead and put the Quintesson off to the side real quick and just go through these two really fast. We'll start over here with Prowl. Now, as far as I can tell, this is the exact same Prowl figure that came with the battle pack, battle assortment, what were they called? Battle class, that's the word I'm looking for. In the Power of the Spark. So you can see he's even got the little port on his chest to plug the armor into. This little thing comes off and those are the ports you plug the armor into. It is exactly the same Prowl figure. It's a good little figure. Let me take a look. It's just a little head unit thing there. It's alright. So anyway, as I was saying, it's a good little Prowl figure and I definitely like it. But if you already have it from the battle class with the armor, then you don't really need this. Articulation wise, I don't think the head moves at all. You have this kind of shoulder joint here, but also a ball joint in the shoulder part of the arm. Then you have about 90 degrees in the elbow, nothing in the waist, ball joint in the hip, and then, pretty much 180 in the knee because of the transformation. And it's painted decently. You know, you got the windows, you got the light bars, nice Autobot symbol there on the chest. Face is painted pretty nicely with the blue eyes, the red crest, silver face paint. Silver painted face is what I was trying to say. But in any case, it's a good little figure. I mean, there's nothing wrong with it, and I like it quite a bit. I just already have it. And this is completely, exactly the same. So, I mean, obviously on the packaging, they made it look like once you put this on, it was going to mind control him and he was going to, like, fight for the Quintessons, which is not what happened in the show. So if you're already deviating from what actually happened in the show, give him a new paint deco. You know, he gets mind controlled and all of a sudden, you know, his hue changes. I don't care. Do something. I think he could have had some fun, and I would have been interested to pick this up. Here's another thing. This could have easily been some kind of blue streak or smoke screen. I mean, yeah, they didn't appear in the show, but who cares? You could have easily done that. They didn't. In any case, transformation's pretty simple. You're going to just peg the legs together. They're going to flip around, and then this part will kind of peg into this big channel right here on his butt. So there you go. Otherwise, you're going to lift this up. You're going to flip this part down. I think this pegs in like this. So there you go. You pretty much have you can have the whole car just with hands. That's kind of a neat look. Anyway, you're going to rotate this around like this. And then there are these notches right here and here. And there are notches here on the arms. So you're going to bring this in, bring that down, and peg that in. And there you go. There's the car mode. Wheels spin pretty decently. Not too shabby. If you want, you could still plug this in. Make it look like it's controlling him driving around. Again, it's a decent little Prowl figure. I do still wish these little pieces were done in white instead of black, but what are you going to do? Again, it's a decent little Prowl figure, but I already have it. Next up, Shockwave. Again, go ahead, pull this little thing off. It's exactly the same as the one for Prowl, so they just give you two of those. And again, it's a fun little Shockwave. I like it quite a bit. But I already have it. That's the problem. So let's see. Head does not move. Ball joint here in the shoulder. Well, no, it's not actually a ball joint. It's just a swivel. But you have a swivel here in the shoulder. You have a bicep swivel, 90 degrees in the elbow. The arms are a solid piece. You got a ball joint in the hip. Thigh swivel there, and then a little over 90 degrees, maybe 125, something like that, in the knee. The other thing that's kind of neat is you can actually take this off and completely unplug this if you would like. And then you can give him two regular hands. So that's pretty cool. I like that because he doesn't always have that. So if you're interested in that, there you go. And again, he looks great. I love the color scheme. A little bit of magenta there. Really pops against the purple, plus the silver. All a good time. He's a fun little Shockwave. It's just that you probably already have it. So that's the problem. Again, some cool color scheme with this. Maybe like a green and a blue or something like that. I don't know. Just something different would have been neat. Let's see if I remember. This flips up, and I think the head flips down. Does this close back up, or does this flip around? I'm trying to remember. I think this lifts up. Yeah, here we go. So that lifts up. Then this comes down like this. Again, I'm just doing this from memory. I think this is supposed to peg into that little spot there. I kind of remember this not pegging in completely. I think you just leave it like that. So I believe you're supposed to put this up like this. These little pincers here serve in the front. I mean, I'll be honest with you guys, and you probably already know this if you've watched any of my other videos. I've never been a fan of this alt mode for Shockwave. I think it's lazy. It's this weird, like, grasshopper crab mode. It's just so lame to me. And then they want you to take this and just peg it in up here. And then you can peg this in wherever, I guess. I don't even know. Maybe one of his legs. Maybe in here, something like that. I don't know. I've always hated this. I still hate this. I don't like it. It's the only part of Shockwave I don't like when it comes to Cyberverse. His alt mode is such an afterthought. I mean, this just looks like you just handed this to a kid and went, see what you can come up with. And they just like, you know, would like if you gave him a figure that did not have an alt mode and just said, what can you come up with? And this is what they did. Yeah, he looks like a crab. Okay, great, we'll go with it. Like, it's not to put kids down. It's not. It's just a toy designer does not seem like they sat down and designed this alt mode. This seems like a fan made, you know, like, what could I do with a transformer that doesn't transform? I came up with this. So it's just kind of lame. I've never liked it, but meh. Alright, and now the main event, the Quintesson. So it looks like we have some cool tentacles here on ball joints. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, so 2 on each side. Not bad. And I mean, they're on ball joints, so they have a decent amount of movability. You can do something like that. I'm trying to see, could you do like some kind of pincer thing? Maybe. Something like that. You could maybe grab somebody. That could be cool. I'm just trying to see what all I can come up with. But, yeah. So, I mean, I appreciate that they did something instead of it just kind of being completely statuesque. Because this is obviously one solid piece down here. And they did paint the tips of the tentacles silver. Except for these tentacles. All the ones on the ground, they painted the tips silver, but they didn't paint these tips silver, which I think is an odd choice, but whatever. But the main part of a Quintesson, let's be honest, is the different heads, and I think they did a really nice job with these. It's kind of cool. It's like homages to the original G1 heads, but at the same time using their own creativity and their own style, their own art style. So, like, this one I feel like is definitely the most of an homage to one of the G1 Quintesson heads. And how this works is you just push this down and it swivels to another one. So I feel like this one kind of has an homage, but it's a little bit more on its own. And then from here on, I feel like they're definitely completely their own designs. This one's really wild. I love that one, though. So these heads are all really nicely painted and detailed. And I feel like that's where most of the detail for the figure went, because, let's be honest, the rest of them is just kind of a mass of black tentacles. I mean, they did paint these down here silver, which I appreciate. Would have liked it if they would have painted these, but I can understand. I feel like if you're going to use all of the detail and paint budget, doing it on the heads is absolutely the correct choice. And that gimmick is fun, to just kind of push it down and swivel around. I think that's kind of cool. And the fact that they did give him some posable tentacles is also kind of neat. But this is not an amazing figure. I mean, let's be honest. It's not. It's cool. It's neat. But, I mean, when you think about the fact that this is like 3-pack locked with 2 figures you already have for $30, I understand why this is on clearance. It's just, the value's just not there. I mean, I think this is neat, but I can see how it's like, this is already, like, getting jammed up. It seems like they're already off. I don't know. I feel like they were more centered before. Maybe I'm crazy. I don't know. I feel like I did something and now they're off center. Yeah, I don't know. That's not great. That's the problem of try me open package toys, you know. But he's okay. So at the end of the day, I'm glad I didn't pay full retail for this set. And it's not because any of the figures are bad, but I feel like this set is definitely more style over substance. So you're getting 2 figures that you probably already have, but you're kind of trading in all the playability of the armor for these little, like, headpieces. And then you're getting this Quintesson who looks really good, but doesn't do much. So if you're picking this set up for display purposes, and honestly, the little scene, the little diorama in the back, if I bring this back in, you could probably like pull that out and like put it behind on a shelf or something and create a little scene with this, and that might actually be kind of a cool idea. So that's why I definitely feel like this whole pack is more for display purposes, because you could create a cool little diorama. You have the Quintesson, you have the Transformers being, you know, mind controlled or put into the loop or whatever personal fan fiction you want to come up with these little mind control helmets. And And they're good little figures. If you don't have the battle pack versions, if you don't care about the armor at all, and you just want a cool little figure of these two characters, then by all means, this set is decent. And I think what you get is fair. But if you're like me and you really had fun with those armors and the whole Power of the Spark was a really good time for you, you're getting two things you already have and this little Quintesson. For $30, I think that's definitely a ripoff. They could have done something to make these a little different. I mean, Prowl's got 2 repaints already at the ready, any given time in Blue Streak and Smokescreen. You could have done anything you wanted with Shockwave here, whether you could use a G1 accurate color scheme, just come up with some wildly fun and creative color scheme, some neon colors or something. Whatever they want to do is fine. I definitely think the Quintesson looks good. All 5 of the faces are very nicely detailed and painted, but that's about all you're getting. The rest of him is kind of meh. I appreciate the fact that they gave us the ball-jointed tentacles to at least give us something, because if this was just a complete stalk and the only feature was that the heads moved around, I'd say that's really boring. But again, if you're buying this for display purposes, I think that's a good set to have, because he looks great, he just doesn't do much. And you could definitely create a scene with the diorama and the little head pieces here. I don't know what to call these things. I should just come up with a helmets, mind control helmets, whatever. I feel like I'm just saying the same thing at this point over and over again, but they're on clearance at Target, $15. It's a fair price. If you wait a little bit and it goes down to 10 or less, then I think 10 or less is a very good price. Because this guy, he's probably worth $10. With all the paint and detail they put into the 5 faces, he's probably worth 10. These two, if you already have them, then they're worth nothing to you because you don't need duplicates. If you never got any of these, then for 15, I think it's a good price. If you never picked up any of these and you don't care about the armors, then you're getting 3 decent figures for $15. Can't go wrong there. So let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Do you think this was a dumb pairing? Did you want repaints? Did you miss out on the armor figures and you'd rather have these? Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Please like, share, and subscribe. Hope you guys enjoyed the video, and as always, thanks so much for watching.